Just days after a major referendum on house sizes, the attention turns towards vacation rentals in Rehoboth Beach, while some landlords are calling it an attack on rentals. Well, good evening. I'm Paul Butler.
And I'm Maxine Bensel. This is WBOC News at 7. In Rehoboth Beach, neighbors have been voicing concerns for years about the growth of so-called mini hotels or rentals that can house dozens of people at a time. And as a result, the city has been mulling over a possible ordinance to address this growth. Our Sussex County Bureau Chief Evan Kosloff joins us now in the Sussex County Bureau. And Evan, today at a workshop, people from both sides were very vocal.
Good evening, Paul. And there have been a lot of issues discussed in Rehoboth Beach over the last year, but this one may epitomize the debate more than any other, and it's all about vacation rentals. There have been quite a few of these meetings over the last year in Rehoboth Beach, workshops to discuss the future of the city, and Monday, all attention was on vacation rental homes. City commissioners were tackling a hodgepodge of ideas, including occupancy limits to combat overcrowding in the homes, mandatory inspections of rental properties to make sure regulations are being followed. Also proposed is additional licensing to add teeth to enforcement. And lastly, they've called for a local contact person to resolve complaints quickly. Linda Kaufman spoke at the meeting and said regulations were needed to maintain the character of the town.
There's concern in the community about the proliferation of what's happening in the city, mostly prompted by the larger places. I don't think it's an attack on rental. I think this is just one more piece to give the city some control over the growth that's happening in our town and to continue to maintain that charm that we've worked so hard to keep.
But not everyone is on board with more regulation. We're at the rental property of Karen Cordry. She says it's disheartening to see what she calls an attack on rental properties.
The one ordinance after another, and the calling every rental property a mini hotel. I mean, it just seems like that there's been a real attempt to push back on the concept that Rehoboth has a lot of renters during the summer, and that's where it makes its money. That's what it lives off of.
At this point, no action has been taken by the city. Commissioner Stan Mills said that it could be months before an ordinance is introduced in Rehoboth Beach. Now, this ordinance would only apply to vacation rentals. That means properties that are rented for less than 120 days, excluding month-to-month rentals. From the Bureau, I'm Evan Kosloff. Back to you.
All right, Evan, thank you very much. Now, as this debate roars on in Rehoboth Beach, one other discussion came to a close over the weekend. On Saturday, residents took to the polls in a referendum over house sizes. Now, in the end, residents voted to affirm the controversial zoning ordinance that made homes smaller by a vote of 785 to 697. Now, according to the city, this was the largest voter turnout in the history of Rehoboth Beach.